Oh, get ready. The booming is about to begin. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the breaking news. Please insert the word breaking news into this title. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to, there's only very, very few characters I can use in the title. And it should say breaking news in the beginning, and that last word is #uni was right. Should be inserted at the end. And if you need source material for this stream, you can look below this, as I try to do, because these are Twitter streams, Twitter scopes. I try to post the evidence that backs the referring scope, the scope being this Twitter space. Below, as in I tweet it, before I tweet the Twitter space. So if you want to see the announcement from Katie, which we will be reading in this, but before we get started, Navy, can you test your mic for me, my bro?
Hey, Bubba, what's going on, man?
Hey, not much. We got a lot going on today. We've got meetings in the background with big creators. We've got lots of happenings going on. We've got people starting to fight back, filing real lawsuits and real ceases and desists and honest and real fallacious lawsuits, like the LOL suits that the Lobster Crew, the Lobster Clan, which Todd Chrisley is a member of, ironically, probably their most famous member. And yes, that's an insult, just so everyone knows. That's not me giving them anything. I'm actually taking a lot away from their cult and their club to say that Todd Chrisley is a member of it. But he's a celebrity. He's got like negative 10,000 celebrity points. He's not even infamous. He's just cringy. So let's get started. Let's start with the statement. Go ahead. If you got anything, Navy, go ahead while I get the statement pulled up.
Oh man, I'm just laughing because everyone who was anti-KJ just said that Todd Chrisley just had the best case ever, and he was going to take down the demon that was KJ. And
yeah,
#uni was right again.
Yeah, and not just me, but Menace to Sobriety. Follow Menace to Sobriety on Twitter. You'll find me retweeting him like crazy. Just scroll down. Everyone else out there who tried to actually take the claims in the public lawsuit, match them to the relative video clips and evidence that was referenced to judge whether any real defamation or issue happened or if this was frivolous. If you go to Unirock 2, I broke this all down when all of this started and was filed. And again, my win to loss ratio is starting to get really extreme. I'm going to have to lose a prediction sometime soon, or else people are going to start worshiping me as being able to predict the future. I'm going to be known as the internet's Nostradamus if this doesn't stop. But here is Katie Joy's settlement. Without a Crystal Ball settles Todd Chrisley lawsuit. So I'm going to read it completely because I'm going to need to go through it sentence by sentence. And I know that confuses some people. So first, I'm going to start a new thing here. I'm going to read the whole settlement. My company and I, this is from Katie, WOACB. My company and I have reached a settlement in our lawsuits with Todd Chrisley, settling all parties' claims. No liability was admitted by either side. And there's some kind of emoji there. Oh no, that's my mouse. Or adjudicated. As a result of that settlement, I will not be speaking publicly about Mr. Chrisley, his companies, or his family. Mr. Chrisley has agreed to the same terms with regard to me, my company, and family. So that's the end. I'm going to rewind back to no liability was admitted by either side, adjudicated or adjudicated. So this completely debunks the Lobster King, Charlotte, and all of the other people who supported Chrisley. What we did was actually go by the evidence. We respected both sides, even though Chrisley does not deserve a shred of respect. We treated them as fair, and we respected their rights. We respected their them as people, as basic human beings, and went in and took their claims and actually processed them without being biased, lying to you, or any other thing that the other side did. Once I put this out, the other side, and this is why they have such a bad reputation, milked y'all for your donos, using your hatred of Katie, setting Chrisley as the hero that's going to solve your problems, milked y'all for your donos so they could have their streams where they make their money, and they grifted your asses trying to lie to you about the claims in the lawsuit. They didn't even listen to the lawyers from LawTube, who every one of these people have referenced in their content before as sources. And they even ignored them to state that Chrisley was going to win and be the hero. We told you that Chrisley and Steve McRae, the lobster, that those lawsuits were frivolous. We proved it. Then we settled to 7M, where at first we said 7M is the only one that's even slightly non-frivolous. I didn't even want to say anything positive about it. I just wanted to say that it was non-frivolous. But we ended up finding out that even it was a frivolous lawsuit when Katie's sources started to come out of the woodwork, get interviewed by many other media companies, and then Netflix themselves was so convinced that they had hard evidence against 7M that they picked Katie up because she broke the story for a documentary about the cult of 7M, which completely debunks and shows that the lawsuit is frivolous based on those situations. Now, that's a different case than with Chrisley and McRae. Chrisley and McRae, you could actually pull their lawsuits publicly from the court, go through them, and then go to the referenced examples of defamation and prove it a lie, which made it obviously factually frivolous. 7M, because they're more of a church protected by religious exemptions and things like that entity, we didn't have that ability when we went in with 7M. And that's why 7M's debunk is a secondary debunk. It's not primary like Steve's and Chrisley's was. But I'm confident that as long as Netflix and as long as the other media corporations that reported on the fact that there are sources against 7M being a cult, as long as they're not lying, so there's a caveat there that we didn't have with the other two, I will state that 7M's is also frivolous. I'll give it a 90%. I'll go up to 95. Where are you at, Navy? Do you weigh that Netflix and media sources have confirmed that Katie's reporting was not defamatory? Do you take their involvement to be some sort of positive evidence, or do you think it's more circumstantial? What do you think?
Well, I mean, the thing is that they're out there to make money, and they're not going to make money with somebody who is about to lose a defamation case. They're not going to put them on a documentary, right?
Exactly.
So I get the feeling that Netflix has looked into this. They've seen what's going on. They have the history of 7M and Robert Shen and all this kind of stuff, and they're probably thinking the same thing we are.
Hey, Navy,
and
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that EKC and Charlotte, two people that have been like watching these streams or reacting to these Twitter spaces, do you think they're going to react to this one and broadcast all of this to their audiences like they did the other stuff I said, or do you think they'll weasel out of it?
I get a sneaking suspicion that EKC is going to weasel out of it and not say a word about it, right? Somebody's going to try to ask her, and she's going to block them or call them trolls or whatever and be done with it. I think, unfortunately, I used to watch Charlotte. I think that Charlotte's going to try to kind of twist it in a way to where, like, somehow Katie did something and forced their hand, and so they couldn't sue her or something. I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
Well, and that's the problem here, that people need to stop supporting liars, grifters, and biased creators. I have been so nice over the years. Don't tell me I haven't. Like, this is everyone says it to me. You were so nice to these people. You should have been lighting them up from the start, Uni. Well, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And I needed to show people that giving them every bit of credence and compassion, they still lied on me. So that you can't come back and say, well, they're good people. Well, they're not grifters. Well, they're not this. Well, maybe they're lied to. Maybe no, the people that are out there profiting out their ass by clickbaiting into Chrisley's presence on television and media, clickbaiting people into their streams with that, and then lying to them about the facts and evidence so they can create a narrative and a dream world that somehow Katie's the villain in this. While, what are you going to do when some twisted, evil-ass celebrity sues you? You're going to fold. You're going to fucking fold. You're going to expect us to stand up and defend you like we've had to do with Katie over these things. I don't want to defend Katie Joy. Do you not remember her, like, lying on me? Trying to destroy my fucking, YouTube channels? And for some reason, people think that I want to sit and defend her. It's a measure of whether you will tell the truth or not. It's a measure of whether you respect your audience or not. If you will look at someone wronging an enemy or someone you don't like and defend them if it's the right thing to do. And they all failed it. And it's simple too. And it doesn't make a lot of money. But then what do they do to you? When I've sat here and I could have jumped on the bandwagon that they run on right with them. And that's the bandwagon with a shit ton of fucking cash and money and donos. And you all know it. Look at Charlotte, for fuck's sake. I could have jumped on that bandwagon and did what she did. But instead, I told you the truth, knowing that, yeah, I'm not going to fucking get a bunch of people to click in on it. I'm not going to get a bunch of people to like me for it. But I didn't think that they were dirty enough to try to frame me as the money grubber when I'm sitting here, like, provably not grifting on this subject, saying the unpopular opinion by the proof, right? And you're the fucking grifter. You're out there money grubbing and tried to put it on me. And that's why I'm not going to give Charlotte or any of the people that did this, because Charlotte's just the example of the person who grifted her following and donations the most out of the subject, even over McRae, because McRae, of course, his reputation was too bad to do it. But anyway, when she went live after my stream last night and basically acted like she was so disappointed and so hurt. Well, let me spell it out for you, Miss Charlotte, weaving your web. Let me spell it out for you real quick. You said that I'm the one who is dishonest for money, that I will get paid to be dishonest. Why don't, after this comes out and we find out we were right all along, why in the fuck wouldn't you be the one that got paid by Chrisley to shill for him? Want to sit here and act like I'm the one getting paid by Katie? No. The logical thing is that Chrisley went around paying you, and he did too. Whether he handed you a direct check or not, he paid you by making sure he told the same lie narrative that you did, making sure that you're going to be able to milk donos out of people based on his narrative. So you got paid indirectly by running with his lies and him helping you do it, because he did. He did help you do it, and you know he did. Okay, my rant's done there. Sorry, Navy, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything in. I know you unmuted.
So I got tagged in Discord, and apparently all the caters have been coming out and saying they're not going to believe it until Chrisley releases a statement.
Yeah, because they're liars. I mean, look, here's the deal. One of two things has to happen. Either Chrisley and Julie, I just gave Julie permission to speak. I'll introduce you in 1 second. Just let me finish this response to him, because that was a good point, Navy. One of two things has to happen. Either Chrisley has to post saying that it's true, putting out his statement to show that they did enter into this NDA and agreement, or he just has to stay silent. Because we all know that Chrisley, if Katie made up a lie like this, he would fucking flip his shit. He would file a new lawsuit or add this to the lawsuit as further defamation from Katie. All Chrisley has to do is either post a response, which should be a term of the NDA, or just stay silent. But we have the lovely Julie Virgo, and hopefully Mama's around there somewhere, because I'm a Mama simp. Hey, thanks for requesting to speak, Julie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Oh, she's on the phone now, so.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Maybe some other time. Yeah, what do you think, Julie? What do you think about Katie announcing a settlement with Chrisley? And what do you think about people that have been pushing Chrisley? What's your take?
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised, but I know for a fact it's going to just be like the Tatty lawsuit where it's like, oh, well, it's not a win, and Katie Joy did this and stuff like that. Like, they won't get in our platforms and address it. Like, instead, Charlotte's reacting to you and Michelle falling out and is, stuff like that. Obviously, she's not going to say anything like that, so, or any of them will. So I'm not surprised.
I agree with you, and yeah, I want to respond to just about everything he said because it was great. Yeah, completely agree. They're not going to bring this up because it will drive away donations. People are going to get mad, and they're going to get mad at them and say, "You told me that this was a guarantee. You incited me to donate to other people's fundraisers that looked fraudulent as fuck, and I did it because you kept pushing it on me, just to find out that the people that warned us were telling us the truth, and you guys really were the liars." And yeah, I do think that they'll use some other drama that will deflect, and if they don't have it, I think they'll use their age-old tactic of trying to create it. So I hope everybody out there doesn't fall, and I'm not going to get mad if anyone does, but I hope that no one falls into their drama. And if they do start some shit, I would respond, and I'm going to respond with, you lied about this lawsuit. You ran a fraud raiser. Like the fraud raiser used Chrisley to boost the fraud raiser, Steve's fraud raiser. And remember, he hasn't talked to 7M. He isn't friends with Robert Shin. So the fact that this happened proves his claim that he can keep his fundraiser open because he's going to be party to a different lawsuit, and that's why he didn't file his, is a complete fraud raiser and lie. Now, to respond to the Michelle thing really quick. Michelle, this is exactly why I think we should ignore Michelle. Because Michelle is a Molly to the point where she even copies Molly's channel name, which I don't know why anyone would want to emulate Molly like that. It's not going to make Molly mad. It's just you going to be trying to bait people from her audience to you, which if you thought she was this evil person, you wouldn't be doing. But she's a liar. Michelle's a liar. She lied about, I didn't even want to post about the bet. I had viewers come to me and say, hey, you need a new PC, bro. And Michelle brags about having like a bunch of money laying around and offered you a bet and she lost. So you'd be stupid not to keep her at her word on this. And I was like, nah, man, it's like a really frivolous kind of shitty thing, until I looked and saw, because I assumed that I was doing a stream and I mentioned how she even touched the gun, and she donated like $5 and blew up and said, I did not touch that gun. And I apologized and said, oh shit, I'm sorry, Michelle. Everyone out there saying you did. And I looked and I thought I saw you touch it, but okay, I was wrong, because I didn't want to fact check it in real time on my stream. And afterwards I noticed, not only did she touch the gun, but she blew up in my stream about how, no, I'm going to offer you $5,000 if you can prove I touched that gun. No, I'm going to offer you $10,000. So she went live yesterday, just in case anyone doesn't know. And what we did was post the clip of the video where she touched the gun, and I asked for my money because it's my money. She gave her word. So she came back and said, no, everybody. She went live and she said, Unirock edited the video that he posted to make it look like I touched the gun. And that's why I'm not lying. I'm not the bad guy. He's the bad guy for trying to frame me to get the bet. Now, immediately after she said this, everybody came to me and started saying, Michelle's saying this about you, Uni. And guess what? There are many channels that uploaded clips of what happened the day it happened. And in all of those videos, she touches the gun. So Michelle is provably lying on you, and she's pulling a Molly, and because she tried to instigate the people that were watching her, which is a bunch of like good people, like cool people, smart people, but then there are some Molly simps that watch her that do dox and harass. She told them to go after me. She pulled a Molly on me last night. So Michelle's just as dangerous as Molly, and I'm going to ignore her from now on. And if anyone out there gets mad about that and wants to blame me for it, they're welcome to, because this is just, you can check the facts yourself. But no, great point. Navy, dude, hold on a minute. We haven't even started gloating yet, bro.
Oh, I know.
We haven't even started fucking gloating yet, dude. This is insane. Like, there are people out there who have been milked for donos over this. You know, come and jump in my stream and support the crap out of me because Chrisley's going to win. And EKC and Charlotte are the two biggest offenders when it comes to trying to milk their audience into a hype that Chrisley's going to take down Katie and, you know, trying to grow their platform by doing it. So both of them, you know, whether or not people stay watching them or get mad at them for lying to them, they both, you would think, if they are even 0.01% honest to any degree, are already prepping to go live, admit their loss, admit that they were wrong, and, you know, correct themselves. But of course, they're not going to, in my opinion.
I've got a question. Should they not have like corrected themselves when so I might be wrong here, but isn't Todd Chrisley going to jail? Like, how would he sue from jail anyway? Like, should they not have corrected themselves then?
You would think, and what Chrisley and them did, and this is why I feel there's a large amount of evidence that they were taking the narrative and information from Chrisley and running it. Because Chrisley, of course, put out this kind of thing that, you know, insinuated that he would keep going from jail against Katie. And even I believe there was an insinuation somewhere, this might have came from the community other than Chrisley, that his kids were going to pick up the defamation lawsuit against Katie and make sure that she goes down and pays if he goes to jail, which he is, by the way, going to jail. So, I mean, this is my point. These are the lies. These are the narratives. And if you analyze them, it's simple to see they're not based on any kind of truth or fact, though, that they are motivated by keeping that hype against Katie from Chrisley going because it makes money due to his false celebrity status. It drives the dono train, which isn't a lot of money, but it's a lot of money for these people that have never had channels above 2,000 or 3,000, now up to 10 and 15,000. Over literally just pushing this mess, you know? Okay, well, we have a meeting with Nate the lawyer later, and we got to prep for it. So I'd like to stream longer because I love that you jumped in, Julie. I hope you jump in more often when we're doing these because I want all of you guys to. I think it'd be fun as well.
Thank you. There, she's off the phone.
Hey, Mama. Hey. I love your stream that Julie was your assistant for yesterday.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling a lot better today. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've gotten like all of my like internal kind of like bleeding has gone down. The inflammation went down, and it's the first day I'm starting to feel a lot better. So thank you for that.
I've got a quick question because I was trying to ask you this in my chat last night, but you went and fell asleep, which is really selfish. But it was so Charlotte said originally the reason she turned on you was because I've got a wrench and I'm a small creator, and I was allowed to drag her through hell in your chat. And I don't know if you remember this, but one night all I mentioned was that she was up Molly's panel and, you know, stuff like that, and, you know, how she's happily going with this, with what Molly's saying and all that because it's against Katie. Like, I never dragged her, but she said that I accused her of being in on a scam, which I didn't. And then it was a fellow person in your chat was saying, you know, I was dragging Charlotte into it and bashing a content creator to the point that even super chatted you like, Unite Julie is bashing Charlotte and blah blah blah. And it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't, no, like I said one thing and that was one thing in chat I said.
Yeah,
So I don't know why she's blaming me and lying.
And this is why I did my stream like I did yesterday. It's because it's not just that there is a single point of contention or issue that's being argued, which would be normal and healthy for all of us, whether you support Chrisley or whether you don't. It should be a discussion. But what I feel is this whole time, this is a perfect example of the tactics they use. When they know they have a losing argument, when they know they're not basing it on the facts, and they weren't with Chrisley. We pulled from the report and showed the proof. So they know that if they do engage with us on the main issue, they will be exposed as lying and have to do the honest thing and go to their channel and tell people, I'm wrong about Chrisley and here's the reason why. So what do you do if that's going to affect the money that comes in? What do you do if that's bad for you with the narrative you've been running that drives the most donation, that drives the most kind of thing? Well, you kill two birds with one stone. You use a drama that's not true, where they lie about you having a criticism and a good one, turn it into an attack, and at the same time, divert away from the fact that they should be, being real with their audience. I think they use these kind of tactics all the time, and this is why I've changed my opinion on Charlotte. If she was just disagreeing with us and wasn't using these kind of tactics constantly, I'd let her, whether she wants to or if she didn't, that's fine, but come on my show, represent her opinion. These would be great streams when two creators disagree about something that's happening where a resolution is coming soon. Then the people watching will decide who they agree and disagree with, wait for the outcome, and then when the outcome comes out like today, we all would be able to get together, discuss why, and it would make us all a better community for it later. And this is also why communities that use these tactics can't evolve. They can't get better at commentary and giving their opinion, because people and singular minds without someone, and this is evident across all of humanity, across all of history, across all of us. In order for us to become so good at something that we can come to a correct opinion every time or most of the time, or give a service to our audience that is our opinion, knowing that we're going to fact check, put all the time into it. It's a practiced thing. Socially, with multiple channels, it's also a practiced thing. And by us having conversations and not being scared to show when we're wrong or right and who's right and wrong, and making it a thing where we can disagree and still be a community, we do practice that in the way that we engage with each other. Whereas communities that are, and I just talked about this in Discord, communities that are doing this thing that we're seeing them do, they aren't practicing that, but they're also, you got to ask yourself, well, then where's their information coming from? And that all leads back, of course, to the narrative. And the narrative will usually come from someone with clout, and it'll be driven by someone's hatred against somebody else, or a group's issue with someone else. When those things represent facts is when these bad things happen, and you didn't do anything wrong. I will back you on that. Though I can't be late. Nate is a celebrity, and I'm a little bit of a Nate the lawyer simp, and I don't want to miss my appointment with him, but we'll do another one of these really soon. Thanks, Julie. I appreciate you coming in. Tell Mama I said hi and I love her. We'll talk soon. So.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye, Uni.
Anytime.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Navy, darling. Bye.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
Yeah. And I want to get as many creators in this way as we can in the future. So hopefully that happens. Navy, thanks, buddy. I'll see you in Discord. Let's go ahead and jump over. So
let's do this.
All right.